Our adventure into the story of the Last Supper unfolds in the book of Mark, chapter 14, within the sacred pages of the Bible. In the heart of a bustling city, steeped in history and shrouded in the anticipation of sacred celebrations, a story of friendship and betrayal began to unfold. It was a time when the air was filled with the aroma of freshly baked unleavened bread, and the streets echoed with the steps of those preparing for the Passover, a festival commemorating freedom from bondage, celebrated since the days of Moses. This was a time when people remembered how God had helped them escape from being treated badly in Egypt a long, long time ago. In this busy city, filled with people coming and going, Jesus and his group of special friends, known as disciples, were getting ready for a very important celebration. Among these friends was Judas. But Judas made a very sad and surprising decision. He secretly went to talk to some leaders called the high priests, who didn't like Jesus at all. These leaders were looking for a way to catch Jesus without causing a commotion among the people who loved him. Judas promised to help these leaders find the perfect moment to catch Jesus, and in return, they offered him 30 pieces of silver coins. It wasn't a lot of money, but Judas agreed. This made the leaders very happy because they had been trying to find a way to do this for a long time. Jesus knew it was time to have a very special dinner with his friends, the Passover meal. He sent 2 of his friends into the city with a secret mission: to follow a man carrying a water jug, and then say to the owner of the house he enters, "The teacher asks, 'Where is my guest room, where I may eat the Passover with my disciples?' He will show you a large room upstairs, furnished and ready. Make preparations for us there." Just like in an adventure story, everything happened just as Jesus said, and they found the perfect room for their dinner. As the night fell and they all sat around the table, Jesus shared something very serious. He said, "One of you, my friends here tonight, will betray me." This made everyone very sad and worried. They each asked, "Surely it is not I," showing they didn't want to believe they could do such a thing. Jesus explained that it was someone very close to him, which made things even sadder. Then, in a moment of profound simplicity and infinite depth, Jesus did something very special with bread and wine. He took the bread, thanked God for it, broke it, and said, "This is like my body, which I'm giving for you. Do this to remember me." He did the same with the wine, saying it was like his blood, which is poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins. This meal wasn't just about remembering how God saved his people a long time ago. It was also about showing his friends how he was going to save them, and many others, in a new way. Jesus knew he was going to the cross, a place where he would suffer because of his great love for everyone. So, when he broke the bread and shared it, he wanted his friends to understand that it was like his body. Just like the bread was broken, his body would be hurt for them. He was sharing this meal to help them remember his love and the sacrifice he was ready to make. Then, when Jesus shared the cup and talked about the new promise, or covenant, made with his blood, he was explaining something very special. In the past, people made promises to God by offering animal sacrifices. But Jesus was saying he would be the sacrifice. His blood would be like a sign of a new agreement between God and people. This new promise was about being forgiven and becoming close friends with God again, all because of what Jesus was going to do on the cross. By going to the cross and giving up his life, Jesus was showing the biggest love possible. He was making a way for everyone to be friends with God forever, without needing any more sacrifices. The bread and the cup at the meal were symbols, powerful reminders of his love, and the new way he was opening for them to be with God. Then, Peter, one of Jesus' friends, stood up tall and said, "I promise, even if things get really scary and tough, I'll always be your friend and never say I don't know you." But Jesus gently told him that before the morning when the rooster crows, Peter would say 3 times that he didn't know Jesus. Peter couldn't believe it, and all the friends said they'd stick by Jesus no matter what. So, kids, as you snuggle into your beds, remember the story of the Last Supper. It teaches us about unconditional love. Jesus showed us the ultimate form of love by staying true to his mission, even though he knew one friend would betray him and another would deny knowing him. Judas betrayed Jesus for silver coins, and Peter, despite his promises, denied Jesus 3 times. Despite this, Jesus' love never wavered. He continued on his path to sacrifice himself for us all, showing that his love is unconditional and never fails, even when faced with the ultimate betrayal. This teaches us the power of loving others without conditions, forgiving them even when they hurt us, and remaining committed to showing kindness and love. Now let's take a moment to reflect on how this can be a part of your life. We all face moments when friends might let us down or hurt our feelings. Like when a friend breaks a promise or says something unkind. In these times, we can remember Jesus' example and choose to love and forgive, rather than holding on to anger or sadness. Practicing forgiveness and showing unconditional love, like Jesus, helps us build stronger friendships and spread kindness in the world. It's time now to talk to God in our own special way through a prayer. Close your eyes gently, and let's bring our hearts together in prayer. We'll ask God to help us apply the lessons we've learned from Jesus' love and sacrifice in our own lives. You can repeat after me silently in your heart or out loud if you prefer. Dear God, thank you for the story of Jesus' love and sacrifice, teaching us about the depth of your unconditional love for us. Help us to follow Jesus' example, loving others without conditions, and forgiving those who may hurt or disappoint us. Teach us to be brave in showing kindness and compassion, even when it's hard. Remind us that your love is the greatest gift we have to share with the world. Bless us with peaceful sleep and inspire us to live with a heart full of love, courage, and forgiveness every day. Amen. There we go, kids. With our hearts full of hope and our minds at peace, let's snuggle down into our pillows, feeling safe and loved. God is watching over us, just as He did with Jesus. Good night, and may you have the sweetest dreams, filled with stories of love, sacrifice, and adventures. Sleep well, knowing you're never alone, for God is always with you, guiding you to love unconditionally, just like Jesus did.